There's something just completely different about the quality of day that I have when I come and do this in the morning compared to the days when I don't do this. Just being down here for an hour every morning, I don't get tired for the whole day. It kind of really energizes me somehow. And the days when I don't come down, I'm kind of knackered by lunchtime. Each morning there's a completely different landscape, and whatever the weather's doing in one way or another, it's just stunning. And being able to do whatever it is I'm doing in front of that landscape is, yeah, I can't do that in my suburban life in England. Dad was a very keen sailor, and he got us all into sailing a bit as we were getting older. My brothers resigned very early because they didn't really enjoy it and they used to get sick. We were coming up the coast towards Holland, and it was strange because there was beautiful sunshine and then there was just this one massive cloud. And as soon as we got under the cloud, the winds just were crazy and the waves were really crazy. And it was the first time I'd been properly scared on a boat. At the point at which I was kind of reached the peak of my fear, Dad turned to me, like looking completely unbothered, and just said, "I'm going to go and sleep, can you just like look after this?" And I thought, well, if he's happy to go and sleep, obviously like there's nothing to really be scared of. So I stayed with this boat and the crashing waves and the rain and the wind, and relaxed quite a lot, and we came through the other side. There's a real sense of satisfaction about arriving in a place when you've kind of been through something to get there. I'd worked in the not-for-profit sector for a few years and had become more and more interested in social enterprise and the role of social enterprise in international development. And so I came over and spent 9 months travelling around Southern and East Africa, visiting sort of interesting community projects. One evening, one of the bar staff was asking me what I was doing, and I was explaining that I'd been visiting different projects and things. And he said, "Oh, you should come and visit the community centre." I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll come tomorrow. And 10 minutes later, someone arrived with a bike and was like, "Ah, I hear you're coming to the community centre." So I was like, okay, so I finished my beer and jumped on a bike and went into the village. There was a big kind of show going on, like kids backflipping all over the place and other people dancing and people playing football, and it's like a real hive of activity. Like people were just so happy and enjoying, really loving the things that they were doing. It was strange because I'd come to Dar es Salaam with the intention of going to Zanzibar to learn how to scuba dive, so I'd kind of turned my brain off from researching projects. It sounds really cheesy, but it was like the place that I'd been hoping to find the previous 6 months and just hadn't. I was shown around by someone who turned out to be one of the founders. He'd been living on the streets as a child, and after a number of years had realised that he needed to change his situation, or wanted to change his situation, and sort of took advantage of an opportunity that was given to him to go into a kind of shelter and go back to school. Through his school, he managed to finish school, just had this idea of bringing people from the community together to share what skills and talents they had, and if they did that, then other people would learn, and that's development. Like really simple, just, you know, it's not massive aid-funded programs, it doesn't have to be that, it's just people coming together and using what they can learn to find a way to improve their lives. He and the 3 other guys had just approached the government and said, "We need a space to try this," and they started with a few kids, and then 4 years later they had 20 volunteers from the community, 300 kids, like a ridiculously big program of activities. Like it was just really inspiring. Because I work probably too much, I often go to bed late and then like to sleep late in the morning. but I'm actually most productive sort of quite early in the morning. It was crazy to be living by the sea and not enjoying it every day. It's an amazing privilege to have this as part of your environment. So I decided that I was going to start coming down to the beach every morning and do some kind of exercise, swim a bit, and set up a kind of routine whereby 7:30 I'd be up and about and active. I used to think that what was giving me energy was the exercise, and I don't think it can be just that, because when I do the exercise in other places it doesn't feel the same. There's just something immensely powerful about the ocean that makes me kind of not worry about the small things.